And whosoever Allah allowed to be misguided, none will be able to guide. And I praise Allah Azza wa Jalla, the forgiver of the sins, the acceptor of the repentance, the severe in punishment. Nothing is comparable to Him, to whom we shall all return. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين تركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. And I bear witness that there is no God worthy to worshiping except Allah, the One, the Sufficient Master. He begots not, nor He was begotten, and there is none co-equal nor comparable unto Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the last and the final messenger of Allah. He sent him to us with the message of Islam, and he struggled so hard and exercised jihad in the two meanings of jihad to ensure that what we have today in our hands is the last and the final message from Allah. عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي المقصرة بتقوى الله وأحذركم ونفسي من عصيانه ومخالفة أمره لزوما لقوله الحق تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وكذلك في قول الحق تبارك وتعالى يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. I began by encouraging you and myself first of all to fulfill the commands of Allah. And I warned you and myself first of all from disobeying Him, according to Him telling us in the Quran, O you who believe, fear Allah the way you should be feared, and by not accepting the state of Islam. And for Him also telling us in the Quran, O mankind, fear your Lord, the one who created you from one soul and created its mate from it, and created from them so many men and women. And fear your Lord, by whose name you demand your mutual rights from one another. And fear your Lord, by observing the right of your blood tie relatives, your rahim. O you who believe, fear Allah the way you should be feared. Allah Azza wa Jalla will amend for you your deeds and forgive your sins. And indeed, whoever obeys Allah Azza wa Jalla and His Prophet is indeed successful in this dunya and in the akhirah. My dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to start by congratulating you as we have officially marked the first day of Sha'ban. And pray to Allah Azza wa Jal with the dua the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam have told us in a month like this, Allahumma barik lana fi Sha'ban wa ballighna Allahumma min rahmatika Ramadan. Ya Allah, bless for us the month of Sha'ban, and from your rahmah, Ya Allah, help us to be able to reach the month of Ramadan. And this should be something that keeps the mu'min occupied all the time with. We're all the time reflecting and looking for ways to help us be able to achieve the maximum from this dunya towards our akhirah. إن المتقين في جنات ونعيم فاكهين بما آتاهم ربهم. As Allah Azza wa Jalla indicated in Surah Al-Tur, that the muttaqeen are in Jannat and Na'im. They are entertained and enjoying the attractions of the Jannah. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَبْلَ ذَلِكَ مُحْسِنِينَ. They used to be more close to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And this is, as I said, what would be the habit of the mu'min in this dunya. Looking for chances, opportunities, times, locations, that would help him to achieve. And we just concluded and finished the month of Rajab, Shahrullah al-Haram, the month of Allah al-Haram. And this is the month in which we normally exercise ibadat to Allah. And the reason being for that is that it is from the month of Al-Ashhur al-Hurum, from the forbidden months of Allah, in which the ibadat is multiplied. And the same is to be said about the punishment of the sayyat. And here comes a month that comes between the Rajab, the month of Allah al-Haram, and the month of fasting, the month of Ramadan. May Allah enable us to be able to reach the month of Ramadan. Allahumma ameen. And when we reflect and look into the ahadith reported to us about the habit of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the month of Sha'ban, we will find that Aisha radiallahu, for instance, and some of his wives have reported to us that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to fast almost all the month of Sha'ban. And when he was asked by one of the Sahaba, Ya Rasulullah, why? What's the secret behind doing so much fasting for the month of Sha'ban prior to the month of Ramadan? And then the Prophet ﷺ indicated the following, that this is a month that comes between Rajab, Shahrullah al-Haram, and the month of Sha'ban, the month of Ramadan, the month of fasting, the month of barakah and rahmah, the month of salvation from the hellfire, the month that we look forward to reach as we leave it every year. We look forward and pray to the mighty Allah Azza wa Jalla to give us the chance to be able to witness it once again in our life. And he said, this is also the month which people are yaghfalun. They normally don't pay attention to its value and barakah. Therefore, we need to be mindful to abandon ghafla, forgetfulness, and be mindful of our ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And as the scholars of Islam have indicated, that this month of fasting prior to the month of Ramadan is similar to the ibadat of Sunan al-Rawatib. I know we have a guest, inshallah, but inshallah we can stay focused for the Jum'ah, and inshallah we'll take care of our guest afterwards. The fasting during the month of Sha'ban and the qira'ah of the Quran during the month of Ramadan is similar to the Sunan al-Rawatib prior and after to the fara'id that we offer to Allah Azza wa Jal. We know, for instance, we offer the Sunan for Salat al-Fajr and Salat al-Dhuhr before and after, so that we're able to get ourselves prepared and ready to engage fruitfully in the Salah of Fard to Allah Azza wa Jal. And so that we can amend whatever shortness we have done during our ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jal. So there comes the month of Rajab, and more specifically the month of Sha'ban, without going into any details of things that people have come up with, innovated over the time to exercise different ibadat and rituals during this month. But rather we go to the authentic sources and reflect on what the Prophet ﷺ have done and be mindful of what would be beneficial for us as we're living temporarily in this dunya. We are living relatively short time in our life. إن يوما عند ربك كألف سنة مما تعدون وخمسين ألف سنة. The times and the days of Allah Azza wa Jal, relatively to the times we live in this dunya, very short, and we don't know that when the time comes for us to leave this dunya, and we know that we relatively live shorter time than those who came before us. Nuh alayhi salam have exercised da'wah to Allah 950 years, let alone how much time before he received the message from Allah Azza wa Jalla. So we relatively live short time. And if we in this dunya, and especially in this part of the world, we're so focused when it comes to achieving in this life, we put strategic plans into how we should be making the most of our time, whether as we are working, or whether as we're studying, or whether we are trying to achieve projects and goals in our life. We're so effective, So why not to do the same when it comes to our real life? When it comes to going to meet Allah Azza wa Jal and leave behind this dunya, because there's no time, there's no chance for us to come back to this life. So let's be more aware and mindful, because worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal ala ilm is more worthy than worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal otherwise. Because one alim is more severe on the shaitan than alf zahid, 1,000 of a worshipper of who worships Allah without the knowledge of the deen. So here comes the chance for us to be able to exercise ibadat to Allah Azza wa Jal and to come closer to Him in a time of ghafla, in a time when people are not so focused in their ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jal. And we need to do it the right way. We need to do it with the right intentions. We need to do it with the right approach to help us be able to achieve the fruits. As the scholars have indicated, that the month of Rajab, which is the month we just left behind us, is the time in which we plant the seed. And the month of Sha'ban is the month in which we irrigate the seeds we planted in the ground. And then, inshallah, from the rahmah of Allah, we pray to Him to enable us be able to reach the month of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan is the time of harvesting. When you finish your degree, you will not be able to get a job right away. You have to go for a co-op. Because without having the experience, you will not be able to do a proper job. And the same is to be said about your ibadah. Those poor who are waiting for the month of Ramadan. We're not saying that for those who are neglectful to the month of Ramadan. No, we're talking about those who are so mindful about the month of Ramadan, and they can't wait, and they count the hours and minutes until the month of Ramadan come. We say to them, you are miskin. You are miskin. What did you do prior to the month of Ramadan to prepare yourself both physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, to be able to harvest from the month of Ramadan? Month of Ramadan is not a training session for you. It's not about training. It's about harvesting. It's about enjoying. It's about collecting. It's about salvation. It's about gaining the rahmah of Allah and the Jannah. And in order for you to be able to reach that, you need to be ready before the month of Ramadan, and not to start struggling from the first day of Ramadan towards Allah Azza wa Jal, and you fail, and you achieve, and you go back and you go forward. No, you need to be ready for the month of Ramadan to be able to fast to Allah Azza wa Jal. And from the rahmah of Allah, we are now living in the times of the year where we're experiencing long hours of the day. And you might think I'm being sarcastic. No, I am being realistic, because Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, for instance, used to avoid fasting to Allah in the short days of the winter and look forward to fast to Allah during the long days of the summer, so that they're able to exercise what the Sahaba and the Tabi'een come up with this term called Dhama al-Hawajir. They have come up with a new term that describes the beauty of fasting to Allah during the long days of the summer. Dhama al-Hawajir. The thirst of Hawajir, long days of the summer. These are the days in which you get the chance to purify your soul. You get the chance for your body to rest after the hard work you have given to your digestive system and to your body over the year of consuming different items of food that contains different poisons and contains different hormones and contains things that are so destructive to your body. Give the chance for your body to relax. Give it the chance to detoxicate and get rid of all the waste you have accumulated over the year from the junk food you consume. And give at the same time the time. As you give the chance for your body to relax, you will spare the energy to be used by your mind and by your ruh to be able to connect with Allah Azza wa Jalla. There's nothing more beautiful than being able to reduce the running of shaitan in your bloodstream, as the Prophet ﷺ illustrated to us, and focus solely in your ibadah to connect with Allah Azza wa Jalla. As when you are in your state of fasting, holding the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and reading from the Quran with minimal distraction from shaitan, you'll be able to reflect. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. Shall they not read, but يَتَدَبَّرُوا, reflect on the Quran? This is the whole idea and the essence of opening the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla, to be able to comprehend, to be able to understand, to allow the ayat of the book of Allah to penetrate your heart. فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, as a result of what they have done in this dunya. Be from those who are muhsin in their ibadat to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Not Muslim, not mu'min, muhsin. Because then we know that there's Islam, as it's described to us in the famous hadith of Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, when Jibreel came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there's Iman, and tu'minu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhir, and there's more than that. There's beautiful stage in which you come to Allah Azza wa Jalla in the state of ihsan. أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. To worship Allah as if you're seeing Him. And we will not be able to visualize Allah in such a way in our dunya. قال انظر للجبل فإن استقر مكانه فسوف تراني. We don't go into the details, but we feel the legacy of Allah as we are visualizing the power and the legacy of some of His creation. When we contrast ourselves with something that Allah created, like the moon or the sun or the earth in which we're living on, we get to feel the legacy of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Who we are compared to some of the huge creations of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So feel the legacy of Allah. As you're fasting to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and as you feel the thirst and the hunger, say, Ya Rabbi, I am saving this for a long and difficult day when the sun will come to the heads of the servants in the day of resurrection, Ya Rabbi al-Alameen. Ya Rabbi, I am praying to you, supplicating to you, Ya Rabbi, to make it easy for me and to accept from me whatever I'm trying to offer to you, Ya Rabbi al-Alameen. And this should lead us to talk about something that the Prophet ﷺ have highlighted to us on, especially during the month of Sha'ban. Especially during the month of Sha'ban, for two things, as he indicated that this is a month in which ترفع الأعمال إلى الله. The deeds will be raised to Allah Azza wa Jalla. فأحب, I would love that my deeds would be raised to Allah while I'm fasting to Him. And we know that also at the same time, He used to fast on Mondays and Thursdays, because those are the days in which the deeds of the week will be raised to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Therefore, He used to fast on these 2 days, so that Allah Azza wa Jalla will be looking at the eyes of Rahmah on Him as the deeds are being raised to Him. And more specifically, in the middle of the month of Sha'ban, in the hadith that is reported and with authentic narration, that Allah Azza wa Jalla looks at the hearts of the servants and will be forgiving to everyone except mushrik or mushahid. Except for mushrik and mushahid. And we know the technical meaning of the word mushrik, associator. And I don't think Allah will be forgiving to someone who's associator. But Allah Azza wa Jalla will be forgiving those who are struggling in their path to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and trying to avoid a shirk al-khafi, the hidden shirk, the secrets, in the things that we don't normally pay attention to as we're struggling in our ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Rather than waiting for the month of Ramadan and you give that look of being exhausted and being thirsty, being weak during the month of Ramadan, so that people will give you the look of sympathy and praise you for how much you're struggling as you're trying to exercise ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jalla during the long days of the month of Ramadan. You have already passed that as you have exercised the ibadah to Allah in the previous 2 months, or more specifically during the month of Sha'ban. And then you have already struggled enough in purifying your intentions to Allah Azza wa Jal, to avoid the praise and rewarding for your ibadat from those who are in this dunya. Because no matter how much they can reward you in this dunya, it is nothing. It is nothing compared to the words of Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's nothing to compare to what Allah has prepared for you. So therefore, make sure that your intentions are solely being to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And Allah Allah says that He does not need any associators. He is mighty. And we are in need for His rahmah. Therefore, we need to be struggling in our ibadah to purify our intentions and make it solely like those who have who have fasted to Allah 40 years, and no one knows that he had fasted during these 40 years. Not even his family members. He used to take his food in the morning and go to his work and give his food in the sadaqah and come back again at home at the end of the day. No one knows how given the ibadah of Sawm to Allah. So this is the beauty of being a person who offers ibadah to Allah only, solely to Him, saying, Ya Rabb, I want this to be yours, Ya Rabbi. I want it to be rewarded for it in the hereafter. I don't care. I don't want my ibadah to be decreased, rewarding of my ibadah to be decreased by getting silly reward in this dunya, immediate gratification in this dunya. I would rather, Ya Rabbi, to save it when I meet you, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. وَأَقُولُ قَوْلِي هَذَا وَأَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ فَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا وسيئات اعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Look into these things prior to the mid of the month of Ramadan, prior to this night in which Allah will be looking at the servants' hearts. And there's nothing specially reported that we need to observe in that. Like sit to be mindful from now that Allah wants us to be ready to engage with Him during the month of Ramadan by spiritually being free from the strains and by intellectually being mindful of the fact that Allah Azza wa Jal is one. And Allah Azza wa Jal accepts from us the ibadah that is solely for Him. And at the same time wants us, as we're struggling to reconcile with Him and our ibadah, He wants us also to be mindful that we need to reconcile with each other. Mushahin. Now this is the time for you to prepare yourself emotionally to clear the things that shaitan have pushed you to engage in mushahana, disputes between you and those around you. This is the time for you to reconcile, to forgive, because this is what Allah wants us to do in this dunya. Allah does not benefit from our ibadah. Our ibadah does not benefit Allah anything, but rather we are in need for Allah's Azza wa Jall's rahmah and to engage in ibadah for Him. And from the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jalla, that the shara'i of this deen have come to organize relationships between people among themselves. And Allah Azza wa Jalla's ibadat are to benefit those who are of mankind among themselves. When we exercise the spending in the cause of Allah Azza wa Jalla, are we spending to Allah? Allah is not in need for our spending. But those who are in need in this dunya are the ones who are benefiting from our ibadah. And the more sincere our ibadah we give to Allah as we spend in secret, then the most benefit would be to those who would receive it, and the more rewards will be gained from Allah Azza wa Jalla. So therefore, be mindful of these two things. Reconcile. Open your heart. Open your mind. When we come to Salat al-Taraweeh in the month of Ramadan and standing in lines, we're not only physically connecting bodies one to next to each other, but we're connecting hearts and souls. So that when we pray to Allah Azza from the bottom of our hearts. And be mindful of those who would make dua to their brothers in the secret. A malak will be standing over their head and saying to them, Ameen, wa laka mithlu dhalik. Ameen, may Allah accept from you, and the same is to be given to you. I'll try to conclude my khutbah so we can give the chance for our guest who is coming. So if he's coming, inshallah. With this, inshallah, we keep in mind that we are in the first day of Sha'ban. Do not wait until the end of the Sha'ban and push yourself to get yourself ready for the month of Ramadan. You choose now to open the book of Allah. You choose to organize yourself to pray at night. Even though, alhamdulillah, we'll be having Salat Taraweeh, but do your best to have some time between you and Allah in the darkness of the night. This is so beautiful. This is so reflective. This is so healing for your heart and mind. This is so important for you to be able to enjoy the connection between you and your Lord in the darkness of the night alone, so that no one sees you, so that your ibadah, inshallah, will be for Him only. As the Prophet ﷺ indicated, that whoever gets up at night, مَنْ تَعَارَ بِاللَّيْلِ, whoever wakes up at the night and says, لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ لَهُ الْحَمْدُ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَلَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ, the dua, and then he says at the end of the dua, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي, Ya Allah, forgive me. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla will be forgiving your sins, and whatever supplication or dua you make, Allah will accept that from you. And then if you happen to get up and pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla, whatever Allah permits you to pray, then your salah is accepted. And this is very important. This is the pure sincerity in your relationship, in your dua, and in ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Let's be mindful of these facts. Let's be mindful of the need for us from now to start getting our hands in our buckets and exercise the ibadah of giving fi sabilillah. Do not let a day go by without dropping something in the box of donation of the masjid when you come to Salat al-Fajr, so that you are in the fi dhimmatillah. You are in the protection of Allah Azza wa Jal, so that the sadaqah you drop in the box will be shielding you and your children and your family from the calamities, from whatever could be harming you. Make sure that you reach out to those who are outside in the streets, those who are less fortunate than ourselves and sleeping on the streets. Don't give them that look and say that they deserve it. They don't deserve it. They did not choose to live this lifestyle. Allah has blessed you to be able to make it to the masjid, and you have the will and spirit to be able to overcome your problems in your life. They did not have the same will. So pray for Allah to guide them and to give them the ability to live a normal life and happier life, and to guide them to the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Exercise these all things so that when the time comes for you to, insha'Allah, be able to reach the month of Ramadan, you will be able to harvest as much rahmah, as much rewarding, and you will be from those who, insha'Allah, will be reaching the salvation from the hellfire and gaining the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jalla. We pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla that He would enable us to be able to meet once again in Al-Firdaus al-A'la. Allahumma ameen. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'ala an-nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu 'alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli 'ala Muhammadin wa 'ala ali Muhammad. Kama sallaita 'ala Ibrahim wa 'ala ali Ibrahim. Wa barik Allahumma 'ala Muhammadin wa 'ala ali Muhammad. Kama barakta 'ala Ibrahim fil 'alamin innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma nas'aluka innaka anta Allahu la ilaha illa anta ya Rahman ya Rahim. Allahumma barik lana fi hadha ash-shahr. Allahumma برحمتك barik lana fi Sha'ban. وبلغنا اللهم برحمتك رمضان يا رب العالمين. اللهم نسألك بأنك أنت الله الذي لا إله غيرك، فأتعيننا على الصيام والقيام وقراءة القرآن والصلاة في سبيلك يا رب العالمين. اللهم هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم اغفر لوالدينا وارحمهما كما ربيانا صغيرا. اللهم يا رب السماوات والأرض ورب العرش العظيم، فرج كربنا قومنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارحمنا. اللهم انصر بنا في الأرض يا رب العالمين. اللهم بك أسرع المأسورين. اللهم اهدنا وارحمنا وارحم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Oh Allah, we ask for your mercy to bless for us this month and to help us to be able to reach the month of Ramadan, Ya Rabbil Alamin. Ya Allah, help us to be able to do the Siyam. Help us to be able to read the Quran. Help us to be able to give in your path, Ya Rabbil Alamin. Ya Allah, please arise with our children and our spouses, Ya Rabbil Alamin. Ya Allah, have rahman on our parents and those who have deceased. Ya Allah, we pray to you to restore peace and tranquility on earth, Ya Rabbil Alamin. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ala as-salam.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
those on the line who took us to have a straight time, inshallah, fill the first lines before it goes to the end ones. The ones in the front prefer the ones in the back.
Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. شهر رمضان الذي كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن المتقين في جنات ونعيم فاكهين بما آتاهم ربهم آخذين ما آتاهم ربهم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك محسنين كانوا قليلا من الليل ما يهجعون وبالأسحار هم يستغفرون
وفي أموالهم حق للسائل والمحروم وفي الأرض آيات للموقنين وفي أنفسكم أفلا تبصرون الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear respected brothers and sisters, inshallah, our time to Salah will be the same almost. Salat al-Fajr is 4:30, Salat al-Dhuhr 1:30,